from Rabun County. This is Roger Glenn with Poss Realty coming to you, and we are really excited today to be sitting here with Mr. Kurt Cannon, who is the mayor-elect now of Clayton. Just had elections a few days ago, so I said in the paper that I wouldn't congratulate any of the victors, but certainly an impressive victory and well-run campaign, and look forward to having you as the new mayor of Clayton.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Well, I know you have talked a lot about sort of what you hope to accomplish as mayor, and we'll certainly talk a little bit about that, but I thought maybe we'd just start with, for folks that don't know you, just a little bit about your personal history with Rabun County. I think your family's been here for quite a while.
We've been here a few days, yes. 241 years to be exact on both sides of my family. So my history and family history is very important to me. And the community is very important to me. It's been good to our families for obviously a long time. And I love people. All kinds of people, don't matter who you are, where you're from, who your grandparents were, it doesn't bother me. I like to work with nice people. My wife laughs about that sometimes, but you got to clarify. I don't want mean people to move here. I want nice people to move here.
I second the motion.
And speaking of that, I have jokingly for years told people when I move them in their homes that I will be having a acclimation course coming up shortly after for them to teach them how to live in Rabun County. And I'm since in the last few months I've really been thinking about sitting down with Rick and really planning something to actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that would bring people in, just teach them about what's going on around County and where they might fit into the process. And that kind of fits into all the different people that move here that have such phenomenal backgrounds that could be used within our systems here to help us improve a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we could do and move forward with in the future.
The mayor-elect, we'll just give a little bit of civic education to your point about people understanding how things work. Can you explain the transition process that you will go through on your way to officially being sworn in, inaugurated? I'm not sure what the technical term is.
Well, just preparing for day one, the inauguration, swearing in is right after the first of the year.
Right.
So in preparation for that, I'll be meeting with all the heads of the departments and then meeting with employees there and everything to get to know them on a different level. A lot of them, I know who they are. I go to meetings here and there and I do things around the city all the time, so I see a lot of them. And I've asked all of them to come and sit down with me here in my office as opposed to going there. Just learn what they're doing, what they think should happen, what they didn't like in the past, what they would like to see in the future, whether, how that working relationship is going to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can work with anybody, I can get along with anybody as long as they're willing to work in the right direction, and as long as they like people, I can get along with anybody. And I think that's the biggest process between now and January is just drinking from a large hose, getting all the information and all the details, and a lot of the going through the budgets and going through the what is the job descriptions of every person there, what are you supposed to be doing, and are you doing it, and how can we improve that, and how can we tweak that a little bit to make it better for what we're planning to do in the next few years, and making sure that I'm still in touch with all the citizens that I can get to communicate with me, to make sure that we're doing what they want as well, and educating the citizens on what's actually going on. Because in, politics, people put out their side of what they want heard. I want to put out all the information. I want to really, educate the citizen. I've even thought about doing some mailers like you do for campaigns that say, hey, this is happening, bang, 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 bang. This is our budget this year. This is where it's going. Most people have no idea.
Yeah.
Most of them probably don't care either, but until they pay that tax check every year, and then they start worrying about it.
Yeah, perhaps don't understand why they should care. And no, I think that transparency is something that people are looking for. I think another thing may be in a community like this, how the municipalities, in this case Clayton, work with the county. So what's your vision for the relationship that you hope to foster with the county and its commissioners and all the other Rabunites?
Well, I think it'll be very different than it has been in the last few years. And I have good relationships with every single commissioner, the administrator, the water and sewer administrator, Brendan Thompson. Everybody in the process I have a good relationship with, and I'm willing to sit down at the table with them and aggressively go after what's going to be the best for the citizens of Clayton and the citizens of the county, because we're all in the same boat. I've heard a lot of people say the city, the county. Well, my family lives inside the city, outside the city. My friends live inside, outside. What can we do to make it the best for every person and make it more efficient, cost less, or not increase as much?
Right.
Just what can we do to make it better for everyone? I love collaboration. I love to get people in the room, whether I agree with them or not. I want to hear your input. I want to know why you're where you are, and then I want to present all the facts, not the political
propaganda
crap that's out there. I want to say, this is the facts, this is the numbers, this is what we've got. Now where do we go from here?
Right.
And in my experience, most of the time, even if you come into the room with people being adamantly for or against or whatever, if you put all the information on the table, they'll come out with a good answer and a good way forward. And I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Pretty swiftly.
Yeah.
So,
great.
And I'm excited about it.
Well, apparently your constituents are as well, based upon the results. So the elephant in the room, kind of in Clayton and Rabun County, to your point, has been kind of water and sewer. Can you talk just conceptually about what you'd like to try to accomplish in fairly short order as it relates to addressing that?
So the issue for the city is they can't afford to fix the system. The system's been about 60 years without a real replacement and expansion plan in place. So there's lines that either are deteriorated and or aren't big enough to supply the need for the community. So replacement of pretty much the entire system is what we're looking at. $50 to $60 million project, 15 to 20 years. It will take us all working together. The city cannot do it by itself. Neither can the county, really. I mean, we all need to work together. And consolidating that is really the only way to make it work. And then all of the money that is raised from the sale of water goes directly to the entity that's only task is to replace and expand the system. So for the county citizen that's taking on some cost to that transition and to the replacement and expansion, even if they're in Persimmon like you are, or on Satola, and will never get water and sewer. The benefit to them is all the expansion along 441 in the city, where most of them work, shop, and play.
Absolutely.
So the benefit is still there, even if they're not using the system.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What are some other things, more in terms of opportunities, that you would envision for Clayton that you'd like to try to accomplish?
Well, listening to the business owners, which I think is they've kind of got tired of talking because nobody was listening to them. So we want to put some things in place to give them opportunity. I want to try to do maybe 4 or 5 different listening session things that are just for business owners, because they all work and they can't all show up at one meeting. So we're going to do it at different times and listen to them. They can come talk to me anytime they want as well, and see what things that we can do that I might not have thought of, and how they can participate in that process.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just come and tell me what you want, and that's something that I will do, and I have done in past things that I have led. When someone continually walks in the room and says, I want this, or I need this, I will say, why don't you work with us on doing that?
Mm-hmm.
That does 2 things. It either shuts them up or it helps to fix it.
Right.
And I want everybody to help fix it. Whatever the issue is, or whatever the new idea is, help us work on it together. An example of that would be the county and city working together on events. I mean, they're obviously got properties side by side down there. Let's use all of those properties for events. If we're going to have a car show, let's have a car show.
Right.
And let's use all the properties down there, the county and city, and I've already talked to commissioners about it. Let's rent those 8-seater golf carts and haul people from there to the middle of town during the day back and forth. That fixes some of the parking issues, because they can all park down there, and then the city and county is moving them back and forth.
Right. Right.
There's just tons of opportunities that we can enhance all the downtown businesses. We can bring in more revenue. We can do a lot of things just by working together.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things. It don't really cost each other much at all.
Yeah.
Just being cooperative is going to be a big step forward.
Yeah, is a big part of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. Other issues, that people, we don't have time to get into all those, but a lot of the businesses struggle with workforce and having, whether it's skilled labor or people like that, and some of that's tied to, affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
We still have kind of a shortage in the county writ large of, broadband internet, connectivity. Any thoughts on some of those issues and some of the things you'd like to accomplish? And to your point, how can people get involved to help? Because we've identified some of the opportunities or the problems. You need people to roll up their sleeves and try to fix things.
Yeah, and I would like to, offer to anybody out there that's here retired or just here working, or, been here all their life, whatever. If they got ideas or would like to participate, to come call me. We'll sit down and talk about ways to plug you in, and there's lots of different parts and pieces to be plugged into. There's some developments that are fixing to go online. There was some approved just last night at the zoning meeting, where it's about an 80-something house development that'll happen right here on the Bynum property.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, and 3 bedroom, pretty affordable rental, really nice clubhouse, swimming pool, really nice little development. That'll be good for people that in that interim, or first-time homebuyer people that can't quite make that yet, to rent for a while in a very nice setting. I would like to see, I don't really want to see government housing necessarily, because that doesn't necessarily foster that working employee or workforce housing.
Right.
I really like kind of the idea of Habitat and the way they do things, because the person that's getting the house is required to participate in the process. They're required to pay the payments on the house after they get it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore they're working in the community afterward, and I think the community could jump along beside them and help them build, let's say, 10 houses a year instead of 2.
Right.
And I think there's great opportunity for that. There's people willing to donate money to that and participate in that process. And there may be other ideas as well, but that's just one I've thought of that has a real more of a workforce type housing that I'd like to see, because they participate and they pay for it. It's not just given. So I think that's another good thing that can be done.
Yeah. Skin in the game.
Yes, exactly.
That's why there's the expression. So, well, we know that you are very busy, not only running Raven Builders along with Kathy, and as we talked about, that you're pretty busy with that as well, but getting ready for the transition so that you can hit the ground running in January. But any other things you might like to, we always look for one little teaser that we can tell people about something that's upcoming that they can get excited about. I know you got a lot on your mind, and
yeah, just involving more people, I think, is going to be a primary objective of mine, and bringing in as many people as we can to participate in the process, or if you have gifts and talents in certain areas and want to assist, I'm not going to run you away or be mean to you at a council meeting. I want to say, hey, why don't you join alongside this council member and this council member and meet with them on the side and help them figure out a solution. You'll only come complain a few times at my meetings, and you'll have a job on your hand. So, and I want that I want to encourage more people to come and participate in those. Most people don't. I mean, I go to them here and there because I'm just a political junkie guy, I guess, and go listen to things sometimes and participate in the process, because I believe if good people do nothing, bad people win. So we need to participate, and we need to do our part to make things better. And the more that happens, the better things get.
Yeah, there was a column in the paper by some really crazy guy who was talking about the fact that, at the local level, if problems are not solved, if opportunities are not capitalized on, in a lot of cases, people having that awareness of how governance works at the municipal, at the county level, in addition to state and federal, but if you don't address those issues and those problems, in a lot of cases, the state or the federal government may come along with a program that's a one-size-fits-all, and typically one-size-fits-all fits almost no one, as you know.
Exactly, yeah.
So the imperative to some degree, I think, is on people to try to solve those things, and I think you make a good point about civics. It's a bit of a lost science to understand not just our Constitution, but our local ordinances and zoning laws and what they mean and how they're structured and why government is built the way it is and why we have municipalities and counties. We should all arguably be students of that game.
Yeah, and some of those can be cumbersome as well. People, I heard several years ago when I was helping a Senate candidate in Georgia run, he made the comment several times that every law passed, there should be 2 deleted, because you've been passing laws for hundreds of years and we're not taking any off the books that are either meaningless or they're cumbersome in a way that really makes it difficult. And so you go to a zoning meeting, or you go to and look at some of our rules and regulations, even in the city and the county here. What can we do to make it easier and faster for people to do projects, but at the same time make sure they do them correctly, and they're not going to do it in a way that endangers people, but help them. instead of stepping in their way over and over, step in beside them and say, hey, how can I help you succeed in this project and do it the right way, as opposed to just saying, oh, you got to have this or you got to have that. How about what can we do to help you get this done? And I think that attitude should be prevalent in government. There's nothing I hate worse than walking into a government office and them acting like they don't have time to take care of me or something because they got to leave for lunch in 5 minutes or they got to, whatever. You work for me, you're a servant, and we should all be within government entities. We should all understand that we're servants of the community that we're serving, and we should be the one jerking the door open for people to walk through, not slamming it in their face. And we need to remember that every single day, and everything we do, every law we pass or every rule we change, to make sure that it's helping, not hindering.
Right.
So that's kind of my attitude of that. And even with the police department, every part, are we doing more every day to come alongside people and encourage them and be a presence for good, or are we just focused on writing tickets? That's not a good thing either.
Yeah.
We want to do the right thing and go in the right direction and bring everybody up in the same boat. Right. And row in the same direction.
Well, your business manager, Kathy, is telling me that it is time to wrap up. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to your term as mayor of Clayton.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming by, and come back again.
Mr. Mayor-elect, will you help me say goodbye to everyone? And I always wave and say, we'll see you next time, Clayton and Rabun County.